lie, I still haven't fully collected my thoughts, nor do I fully know what my opinion on Doctor Who's latest crazy bonkers episode, the Interstellar Song Contest. I mean, Russell said that this episode would change everything, and change Doctor Who forever, but did it? Maybe it was the seed of something that's still yet to come. So join me in this video as we discuss and break down 1. What on earth the ending was all about. Let's take a full analysis of the ending of that episode, because there's a lot to take in. We've got Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter, coming back. Why? How? What? We've got Mrs. Flood by-generating into 2 Ranies, the Rani and a Rani. We've got the destruction of Earth confirmed by none other than Graham Norton himself. May 24th, Conrad, we've got an exclusive clip from an upcoming episode.
When Gallifrey was young,
with Conrad talking about the Doctor and the Rani being friends in the past, or not being friends in the past, but they could be friends. We've got Ncuti talking about the fact that they're going to explore Time Lord mythology, Time Lord lore. He learns more about the Doctor. So yeah, join me in this video as we break down who the Unholy Trinity are, who the Rani is, and what on earth's going on with Susan. We'll start by recapping and explaining the end of the latest episode, because if you're a new Who fan, you may have never seen the Rani before. And I mean, she hasn't even had that many TV stories. I'm pretty sure it's just Mark of the Rani, and then, what's it called? The one with the 7th Doctor and Mel. Time and the Rani. I think it's Mark of the Rani and Time of the Rani. Mark of the Rani is quite good. It's a nice, simple story. It's one of the better Colin Baker stories. Time and the Rani, however, it's best not to think about it. But the key detail about Time and the Rani is that the companion Mel, Melanie Bush, was in that episode. So we know Mel is back next week, she's in the cast list for the finale. It makes sense. You've got Mel facing the Rani, she's going to have a rematch. She'll be a nice sort of audience explaining character, so that people can get the gist of who she is. Similar to how, like, Sarah Jane in Stolen Earth and Journey's End cries at seeing the Daleks, we'll probably have Mel have some sort of visceral reaction to the Rani's reappearance. A quick bit of history on the Rani as well. She was kind of the classic series equivalent of the Master, but a female. Kind of Missy-esque, except she's less evil, or at least was less evil. Especially in Mark of the Rani, she's basically just focused on her experiments. At heart, she's a scientist. She does loads of, like, experiments, and it's all unethical, it's bad, but she's not plain evil. She's not normally, like, mustache twirling, I'm going to destroy the Earth. But apparently now she is. I don't know why, we'll find out. She is a Time Lord, Time Lady, hence why, when Mrs. Flood died in space, she regenerated, but she didn't regenerate, she bi-generated. Is this just a thing now, after the sprinkling of the salt in Wild Blue Yonder, because myth was let into our universe? Does that mean any Time Lord can bi-generate now? Because the only 2 regenerations we've seen after the sprinkling of the salt have both resulted in a bi-generation. I really, really hope we get an explanation as to how and why the Rani was able to bi-generate. It could, of course, be related to her experiments and genetic stuff that she does. If she created bi-generation, that could almost tie into the other things. It's also quite a nice idea someone came up with, I think on one of my live streams, shout out to that person, but what if Mrs. Flood is the one engineering these gods into being? So like Sutekh, for example, started as just an alien called an Osiren, and then evolved into his true godhood, perhaps with the help of Mrs. Flood or the Rani. What's different as well about this bi-generation than the Doctor's? It seems like one Rani is the leader, so the new Rani is the Rani, and Mrs. Flood, Anita Dobson's Rani, is now just a Rani. She seems like the sort of helpless, silly sidekick to the main Rani.
That's what I said, shut up.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I mean this video isn't an opinion piece, but I'm gonna voice my opinion on this. I don't get it. I feel like Anita Dobson deserved the main role, deserved to have that juicy scene with the Doctor. Like, she was so creepy and spooky in, like, the end of The Legend of Ruby Sunday. I think it's a shame if she's just demoted to comedic relief sidekick. She deserves more. But who knows? There's two Ranis. I do want to just put in a quick prediction now, though. I think because the Rani is quite dominant and rude to a Rani, I reckon a Rani will end up betraying the Rani and helping save the day. I reckon that's where it's headed. Now, we have this idea of an unholy trinity. If we've ticked off two of that trinity, that could be the Rani and the Rani, is Conrad the third? I don't think so. I think somebody else. But we'll get to that after briefly discussing Susan. Because Susan's appearance made me wonder, right, what is the Rani and the Rani's plan? What are they trying to achieve? They've gone to such extreme lengths to sort of stalk the Doctor, to get that Vindicator reading to be able to go to May 24th. Why couldn't Mrs. Flood be in May 24th anyway? Like, she lived on Earth for ages. I'd also like to remind you of last week, where Captain Poppy the Space Baby made a bizarre return. Space Baby, Space Toddler. Captain Poppy made a return, right? And Anita Dobson, as shown in one of the clips in my other videos, confirmed that the Space Babies are actually incredibly relevant to her plotline and her story in the finale.
Everything's tied up. Everything's done for a reason. He's very clever.
She says that when she read the script for the finale, episodes such as Space Babies all made sense. They emphasised that all Time Lords died. There was a genocide of Time Lords, they're all gone. Why did Susan survive? I don't know if she did survive, or if she's an echo of Susan, because the Rani's motivation, I reckon, might be to bring back the Time Lord race, or species, to bring back Gallifrey, to restore it, but with her in command. That would explain why, if that is her ultimate plan, her ultimate desire, why Susan is trying to contact the Doctor, because if she brings back all Time Lords, she's gonna bring back Susan. Maybe Susan knows that the right thing to do is not to bring back all the Time Lords, because it might be a sort of end of time scenario where they go mad with power again. And Susan's trying to reach out to the Doctor to help him, to warn him, because those psychic projections of Susan do very much seem like her trying to break through from somewhere. I don't think it's just a construct of the Doctor's imagination. I think it is Susan, alive and kicking, trying to help. So let's say that's why we're seeing Susan again. The Rani, maybe these Space Babies are like Time Lord babies, or she's going to genetically engineer the babies into new Time Lords, or something along those lines. Who could this Unholy Trinity be? If Mrs. Flood is trying to bring back Gallifrey, to bring back the Time Lords, could it be the three founding fathers of Gallifrey? Rassilon, who, might I remind you, after the events of Hell Bent, was banished off Gallifrey, so he probably already would have survived the genocide that took place. Rassilon, the other, we don't actually know who the other is, a mystery. Maybe she's going to bring them back, maybe they're a sort of god. And Omega. Omega, once again, wouldn't have been on Gallifrey. Omega is technically dead, according to Arc of Infinity, but is probably trapped in an antimatter universe somewhere. He tends to do that. He's also probably a god. He says in The Three Doctors, he's like, I should have been a god! And just like Sutekh, he's probably been able to evolve himself into an actual godlike being. And I think there's got to be a tie with the gods and Mrs. Flood manipulating things into bringing the gods into existence because she keeps breaking the fourth wall. Why can she do that? Like, if it's the Rani, if she's just another time lady, why on earth is she able to break the fourth wall so easily? It doesn't make sense. There's got to be an explanation, and that explanation is that she's the one manipulating everything. This is her master plan. Master plan, you say? Let's not forget, if the Unholy Trinity isn't the three founding fathers of Gallifrey, it could be Mrs. Flood, and the Master, or Michelle Gomez. You'll remember that at the Doctor Who premiere for this season, Michelle Gomez and Jo Martin were both in attendance. Everyone was going, look, they're just there as alumni to the show, but Jo Martin cropped up last week. Who's to say Michelle Gomez won't crop up this week? Especially since that golden tooth was picked up by a very mysterious hand, which very well could have been Mrs. Flood. So yeah, the Master was shrunk into that golden tooth, left on the side, and picked up by Mrs. Flood. That creates a trinity. Master, Rani, Rani. Or If we're counting the Rani as one person, Master Conrad Rani, could that be where the Unholy Trinity is headed? Because this preview clip from Unleashed.
When Gallifrey was young, the Doctor and the Time Lady had been terrible enemies. They had fought over all sorts of irrelevant things, but the Time Lady knew they could be great friends.
Is Conrad discussing, like, the Rani and the Doctor could have been friends, but they weren't? Missy's whole thing is, I want my friend back. Are we clutching at straws here? Probably. But let me know your theories in the comments down below. It's certainly interesting. How does Susan, Space Babies, Mrs. Flood, the Rani, a Rani, and Conrad all tie into a two-part epic finale? I have no idea, but I'm incredibly excited to find out. As ever, if you did enjoy this video, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It really helps me out a lot. Turn on the notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on any future Doctor Who videos. Let me know any video ideas you'd like to see in the comments down below. Are there any burning questions, burning theories you have? We can discuss it. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you!
She's not seen a single episode.
No, I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.